Good day, listeners. My resource person for this interview today is Ms. Adona San Diego. She's the chief of the audiovisual section of the Public Affairs Office of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or the DNR. As you all know, the DNR has the mandate of being the primary government agency responsible for the conservation, management, development, and proper use of the Philippines' environment and natural resources. This includes coming up with information, education, and communication campaigns, of which environmental videos are part of. So today, let us talk about how the AEV comes up with or produces environmental videos. Hi, Ma'am Adona. First of all, I would like to thank you for giving me your time for this interview. So tell me, Ma'am Adona, how long have you been chief of the AV section?
Well, I've been with the AV section since 2006, so you would say about 9 years.
How many people are you handling right now?
I used to have nine members of the AV group, but since the rationalization plan takes effect last December 2013, so right now I have about 6.
And how many of these people are actually involved in the production of an environmental video?
Well, everybody actually is involved in the production of an audiovisual presentation or a video documentary on environment, but during the production stage, we actually have about 4 to 5 persons, and then the post-production, we have about 2 to 3.
Okay. And can you tell us how you come up with an environmental video, the process that it entails?
Well, first, what we do is to discuss among ourselves, among the group actually, on what particular topic we're going to produce. Say, for example, if we're going to produce an audiovisual presentation on protected areas, we discuss which particular protected area to be featured. So during the pre-production stage, we share ideas. Parang nagbe-brainstorming kami. Then after that, we agreed on the topic, and then we proceed with the production stage. And then during the production stage, we went out without a ready script, although we already have in mind what topic we're going to discuss and produce. And so the cameraman, the photographer, and other members of the group knew already kung ano yung aming kukunan, what particular scenes we're going to shoot on the field, and then who to interview with. So, mga ganon ang proseso namin. Madali na, since we're already in this business for about how many years. Some of my co-members were already in this business for about 15 years, 20 years.
Experience.
So, experience-wise, madali na sa kanila. Kahit sabihin ko lang, okay, bingo, let's go there. We're going to produce an audiovisual on, say for example, forest. So, pagdating namin doon, alam na nila. I don't have to instruct them which particular scene, which particular, the angle, the camera angle, kung paano kukunan, yung mga details na kukunan doon sa isang particular place. And so, parang mas madali sa amin to get all the materials that are required of that particular video documentary.
And then, pagbalik yung post-production.
And after the production stage, this is now the editing, the post-production, the editing stage. So, we review all the materials, the necessary materials, and then I prepare the script based on the idea we have already agreed upon. And then, medyo as a writer, ako na nagbibigay ng twist doon sa magiging kinakalabasan ng audiovisual presentation or video documentary. Pero, malaki ding contribution, of course, yung experience ng editor natin kasi may mga visual effects na kuminsan hindi ko masyadong na-visualize yun in my script, pero siya ang naglalagay ng additional, kumbaga, for cinematography para maging lalong interesting ang ating production. So, doon, and then we choose what particular music we're going to use for that specific video documentary. And then we discuss among ourselves during the editing kung lively ba o hindi, soft ba yung tone niya o ano. Depende. It depends on what kind of script, what kind of video material we're going to produce. Kung halimbawa it's about mga parang we wanted to create a say yung parang if we want to encourage people to change behavior, medyo kung minsan nilalagyan natin ng konting parang pananakot, ganyan. Although it's a reality naman na ganun na nga talaga yung nangyayari. But medyo ina-exaggerate natin dyan in terms of music. Say for example, kung halimbawa it's a program of the DNR, it's a success story, so tinitingnan natin na meron tayong mga flashback scenes, and then medyo ang music na ginagawa natin medyo malungkot kasi it talks about degradation, from degradation into parang reliving or reviving a particular area. So pagka halimbawa nandun na tayo sa revival na at medyo nag-i-improve na yung environment niya, medyo masaya na ang music doon. So in a particular video documentary or a video material, may mga ilang music yan na talagang appropriate for a particular scene or stage kung ano na siya. So parang stage by stage sila, parang meron siya, parang sa story, meron tayong introduction, and then meron tayong body, tapos may nagka-climax, and then nag-ano doon siya. So parang ganun din sa paggawa ng video production. It's just more on the visual compared to, halimbawa, a short story or no. But the elements of the story, of a short story and the video documentary, pareho lang sila.
Pag gumagawa tayo ng environmental video, what do you always tell yung photographers and to keep in mind, yung dapat nilang hanapin lagi?
Since what we are doing is more on the environmental side, pero kailangan wag namin kalimutan yung human interest na tinatawag. Kasi pag ang isang production mo ay kumbaga lack itong particular element na to, medyo parang hindi anong tawag natin dyan? Hindi yung mga tao relate. Oo, hindi sila makapag-relate. So, we always situate our story with a particular, say, parang istorya ng isang tao. For example, dito sa most of the DNR projects, programs and projects, particularly those sa success stories na ginagawa namin, talagang we singled out doon sa tao. Doon kami nag-i-start sa story. Talagang merong human interest lagi. Kasi, what is environment without people then also? Yes. Although, we're here na parang we are parang nagiging intrusion tayo doon sa life na environment natin, natural resources. Pero andyan naman yan para gamitin ng human being. It's just a way of saying na how do you use it properly, manage it properly, or use it sustainably, parang ganon. So, pagka sa mga project, talagang sa script namin, laging highlighted yung ginawa ng tao doon.
So, ibig sabihin, parang pakitan natin yung effect ng tao, yung negative effect, tapos what we can do also to help.
Kasi we are the problem daw, and we are also the solution according nga doon sa mga mga expert o mga environmentalists before us. So.
Ngayon, the AV section has come up with a lot of videos on the environment. Among those you have been involved in, or which were produced during your time as AV chief, can you tell me which one is your personal favorite and why?
Actually, marami na kami na-produce. Pero yung something na parang mas malapit sa puso ko siguro is yung yung production namin sa climate change. Kasi it shows how yung sabi nga noon ni sa atin, sabi ni Romulo ba yun? Former Carlos P. Romulo?
UN.
UN. I think he was the one who said that the Filipino compared the Filipino as pliant as sa bamboo, di ba? Okay. So parang ganon, parang mas nakikita kasi yung true character ng Pilipino dun sa pagiging adaptable niya sa whatever situation he is in. For example, yung ginawa namin sa climate change, which was shown in the International Film Festival, ASEAN Film Festival, our country representative for that event, yung climate change na yon, it shows, actually it depicts the story of the farmer, the fisherman, how they adapt to the changing climate. And in the process, medyo naging nila yon na yung parang, if you take a look at this as a weakness, parang yung weakness ginawa nilang strength. So, for example, in that Baler story na ginawa namin, which was yun nga yung sinasabi ko a while ago, that was shown in the International Film Festival, which also garnered an award, yung farmer natin dito, nakagawa sila ng ways of, kumbaga, preserving or impounding more water in times of drought. So, all year round, yung kanilang rice field supply, laging meron because of that ingenuity na nila, natutunan nila para makapag-adapt doon sa particular situation. Same with the yung mga fishermen. Kasi doon sa during the course of the the interview, most of the fishermen goes far and far away from the para lang makakatch ng mas maraming isda because of the dwindling fish catch. Ngayon, ang ginagawa nila, they planted more mangrove in that area. One is to protect themselves from storm surge, and two is for them para magkaroon sila na mas maraming catch, para hindi na sila mas lalayo pa dun sa laot. So they could catch more because medyo pinayabong nila yung mga spawning ground. So yun ang mga nakita ko. And also the yung the agricultural sector were also nakapag din sila ng mga variety na pwedeng gamitin. So pag nagaganito ang climate. So isa yun. And then the other thing is yung isang ni-revive lang namin actually. It's about kagubatan, kaligtasan. There's already the script. You just put in fresh footage. Napakaganda. It's a really beautiful story na nakakapag nakaka-encourage, nakaka-inspire para lalo pa nating pagyamanin or take care of our environment, not only for ourselves and of course for our future generation.
Okay, so ano naman ang advantages and disadvantages of coming up with environmental videos while working for the AV and the DENR as a whole?
Oh, well, sa tingin ko, sa akin personally, working at the AV, I think advantages kasi mas na-expose ako. Na-expose kami ng mga tao namin about environmental issues, and of course, nakita namin yung paano yung mga tao doon, particularly doon sa mga pinuntahan namin, nag-change for a better, especially in terms of relating to the environment.
So, masasabi mo na yung videos natin nakakontribute sa change of mindset nila?
Yeah, it contributed a lot. Not only the video, of course, but the projects of the DNR.
Yes.
But siyempre, kasama na yon, it helps yung pag-produce natin ng video para mas marami nakakaalam. Disadvantage, wala siguro ako masyadong pero Kasi kami sa amin sa side namin, we always work on yung parang limited resources. So in that nagiging mas kami,
Resourceful?
Resourceful at nagiging matipid kung paano gagamitin. Pero not naman to sacrifice kung ano yung magiging output.
Yes.
So disadvantage, as I was saying, yung limited resources, pero hindi naman masyadong yun.
You can work around it.
Yes, oo. Tapos dahil nga you have advantages is because you have an expert, a pool of expert.
Yes.
Kumbaga yung the cameraman, the photographers, the editor, and of course, yung ating mga production assistants, puro sila magagaling. So, kumbaga yung trabaho ko mas naging madali as a supervisor. Kasi, although nga, siyempre you are dealing with artists, medyo iba-iba ang kanilang character, pero kami kasi as a group, we make it, always make it a point na ang pagtatrabaho namin always fun. Kaya, mas nakakagawa kami ng mas maganda even on a short notice pag under pressure kami. Kasi nga, parang ginagawa namin siyang fun. Oo, that's one of the technique. Pag kasi serious masyado, kitang-kita sa video namin. Parang malungkot and na sometimes kasi, particularly in the environment, dapat ang pinoproduce mo yung something na nakaka-inspire. Although, syempre, pwede ka rin mag-produce ng mga malungkot para makita nila kung gaano na ba yung talagang current state of the environment.
Negative.
But then, nandun pa rin naman, because of that, parang we appeal to the emotion of the people na if you do this, ganito ang nangyayari. But if we're going to do this, ganito ang possible na mangyayari. So, ganun lagi ang tinitingnan natin. Yung ating mga video talaga, first is it always appeal to the emotion kasi what we wanted to yung goal natin is to have a behavioral change, towards a behavioral change, particularly in relating to the environment kasi tayo kasi nandoon na sa atin yung marami it will not hindi yan mauubos, pero marami kasing resources tayo na renewable na if we will not take care of them, maaari in the future baka magkaroon na ng desert sa Pilipinas kung it will not plant, we continue cutting. Tapos mas dadami yung of course yung mga dahil because of the forest degradation, dadami yung mga landslide and everything. So we always capture that on video also, those negative effects para makita nung tao yung realidad na nangyayari. Kasi pag hindi nila nakikita, parang sa kanila yun abstract.
Parang idea lang siya na
parang hindi sila masyadong naniniwala. But what's the good thing in capturing these events on video? Kasi parang ikaw mismo, yung tao nanonood nito, nagiging part ka rin noon. Say for example, yung the Yolanda, yung mga images doon sa Yolanda, yung talagang immense destruction, talagang really yung appeals to the emotion of all the Filipino people na para nagkaroon nga tayo ng united na we really have to take care of our environment kasi para nga ang sabi nila, this is already the wrath of God, parang pinawalan na niya yung lahat ng galit niya with Yolanda, pero it's not it. It's because of talagang nagkakaroon ng cycle talaga ang climate, talagang ganon. Hindi naman natin kailangan i-blame. Although we are partly to blame.
Yes.
So, since we are partly to blame and we are the problem, we can be a solution to that problem.
So, sa tingin mo yung because we are with the DNR, parang hindi rin tayo nauubusan ng topic na pwedeng gawing video?
Yeah, there are so many topics na nandyan lang na pwede nating
ipakita,
gawing interesting para malaman ng mga tao kasi there's too much indifference from our countrymen, yung mga na parang baliwala nga sa kanila yan. Although, parang nga ang sinasabi nila, dati, nakikita ko lang sa TV yan. Now, it's happening to me.
Yes.
So, parang ganun din ang gusto nating mangyari dyan sa mga video natin na if we continue to be indifferent to what is happening around us, the experience or the suffering, the pain of the people na pinapanood mo right now sa TV or sa video will be your pain and your suffering, maybe your pain and suffering in the future.
So, kumbaga, wag mo nang hintayin na mangyari sa'yo bago ka kumilos.
Kumbaga, kailangan talaga natin kumilos na now na. Hindi na pwedeng ipagpabukas pa yan. Oo.
So, yung last question natin, what is your dream video on the environment that you would like to really come up with, and why haven't you come up with it yet?
Para mahirap ata yan. Kasi there's so many, although napakaraming topic, pero sa akin, I want to come up with something that will really have an impact to the general public. Wherein talagang gusto ko, yung video na yon will really move them to action. Something about, parang, hindi naman siguro adaptability, we have done that. Yung mga success story, we have done that. Pero something na, ewan ko, hindi ko pa masyadong naiisip kung anong particular topic yung, but there are so many things, there are so many topics about the environment na pwedeng i-feature. But right now, gusto kong magkaroon ng parang isang the story or a video documentary on a particular person that really move people to act, particularly sa environmental protection, conservation. Gusto ko sana makagawa nun, but I have no one at this point in mind na kung sino man yung magiging parang
bida.
Oo, subject ko dun sa ano na yon. But I wanted to do something na talaga it's really moving, dramatic, and everything. Kasi gusto ko yung impact nun. After that, watching that video, yung tao kakilos na agad. Hindi na yung bukas na lang or mamaya na. I want them really to act right now. Yun video na yun. Pero, hindi ko pa siya masyadong, I have so many things in mind right now. I want to write something about man's misuse milieu. I wanted to write something about, or to produce that in video, kung paano mo ba, parang tracing the human being man, parang tracing him as he was created, paano ba nasira. Pero I think it would be a series. Parang ikukwento mo siya. Kasi, for example, right now, reklamo tayo ng reklamo sa baha. But what we're doing right now is to convert all these, flood-prone areas into subdivisions. Instead of finding ways, through engineering siguro, perhaps, na maayos natin ang mga flooding. Hindi, mas dumadami kasi nawala na nga ng...
Congested na.
Hindi lang yon, nawala na, kumbaga, ng right of way ang mga bodies of water natin. For example, yung mga areas in Pangasinan, in Bulacan, those are wetland areas.
Yes.
Diba? Marami siyang rice field and everything. Pero it was already converted to subdivision. That's why yung flooding, wala na talaga. Hindi na mag-saturate yung lupa dahil puro na semento. So I wanted to write something or to produce a video on that, parang ganun. Parang to show people, bakit ba nangyayari sa'yo yan? I wanted to show them before ito. Ngayon, itong ginawa mo. Ito pala yung before that, tapos ito yung ginawa mo, ito yung nangyayari sa iyo ngayon. Pero, wala ka pa rin ginagawa. Parang ganon. So, kumbaga, sabi ko nga, tracing back yung historical background ng particular area para makita ng tao kung ano ba talaga yung ginawa ko dito sa lugar na to. Yun.
So, parang nangyayari lang, tanggap lang tayo ng tanggap, hindi kumikilos, gano'n, no? Adapt ka lang ng adapt, pero dapat may kasamang action, no? Parang
kasi ganun. Parang hindi pa, ayan ang frustration ko sa DNR. Or maybe sa ginagawa ko siguro kulang pa. Kasi, parang, kaya nga, ang gusto ko, I wanted to produce that video. Na talagang will really appeal to the emotion of the people, they will really move, that video will move them to act right now para ma-solve yung problema nila. Kasi, like, for example, yung dinidiscuss natin na flooding, hindi naman talaga ang may kasalanan yan ay yung nature. Kasi nandyan na yan eh. Kung hindi, tayo ang may kasalanan, hinarangan natin yung mga dadaanan nila. Yan, isa yan sa video na gusto ko talagang i-produce. Pero, siguro ipoproduce namin yan. Kaya lang, Kaya hindi namin ma-produce yan because una, hindi naman talaga yun jurisdiction ba natin, yung flood.
Oo.
Pero parang jurisdiction natin na parang hindi. Parang intertwined kasi yan eh.
Oo.
So kung if I will be producing something like that, baka sasabihin ng mga boss, wag yan, saka na yan. Ito muna ang gawin mo. Parang ganon. So siguro on my own, maybe if I'm not no longer connected with the DNR, I might or I would like to produce that video. That will really, yung parang na ano sa isip ng mga tao na nako yung video na yun talagang I wanted to act. Parang ganon.
Okay, so, well, I think that just about covers our topic for today. To wrap this up, Ma'am Adona, what is your advice to students out there who would like to produce an environmental video?
Well, to those students outside who wants to produce video, particularly on environment, you have to keep in mind na dapat pag nagpo-produce ka ng video mo, nasa puso yun. Una, nasa puso. Kasi when you write your script, kailangan kasi when you produce environmental videos, talagang merong appeal sa emotion kasi we wanted behavioral change. And then, produce lang sila ng produce, wala namang mawawala. Pero, since medyo mahal ang production ng video, marami kang gagastusan, might as well think of a particular video na gustong-gusto mong gawin, tapos ibuhos mo lahat doon. Hindi kailangan na magaling kang scriptwriter, hindi kailangan mo lang yung magaling kumuha ng camera sa visual. Pero kung alimbawa ikaw ang cameraman, kailangan magaling kang kumuha ng visual, ng tamang angulo, ng proper framing, yung details, yung human interest. Kailangan magkakasama-sama yung lahat ng element na yun sa video mo para maging interesting at magkaroon ng impact.
Okay, so that's about it. Thank you again, Ma'am Adona, for sharing with us your time and your ideas. I know this won't be the last time I will be interviewing you. So I hope you will be with us again next time. To our listeners, remember that there's always something new to learn every day. So I definitely hope you all learned something from our guest speaker and our topic for today. Until next time.